This week we're talking about not allowing events of the past to rob us of the great future God has for us. The young man went to Bible college in London, and prior to ordination, he had to preach. He's all tense and nervous, especially when he saw his beautiful fiancée in the audience. But he lost his train of thought and he failed. He was not approved for ministry. And as a result, the fiancée broke off the engagement because of his failure. I said, good riddance. If she's going to pull out on something that basic, she's probably going to pull out somewhere along the line. However, his dreams were shattered and he battled depression for years. He kept looking back, seeing failure, disgrace, rejection. He was chained to the past. He began to seek God for help. God gave him a single verse, changed his life forever. Verse we know well. Romans 8:28, all things work together for good for those who love God, to those who are called according to his purpose. He let go of the past. He grabbed back his future. Campbell Morgan wrote 60 books, several commentaries, and became a world-renowned preacher. He had to leave the past behind and grab the great future that God had in store for him. Only Jesus can turn the bad into good. He can turn a mess into a message, a test into a testimony, a trial into a triumph, a victim into a victor. I read of this lady who lost her husband, and quite a long time afterwards she dropped a glass vase that shattered on the floor. As she looked down to clean it up, she went to pieces herself and cried and cried and cried, feeling her own life was just like all those fragments of broken glass on the floor. Then God brought a thought to her mind of the stained glass windows in the church she went to. She realized that beautiful work of art was made up of broken fragments of glass. It gave her hope that God could make something beautiful out of her broken and shattered life. God had a great future in store for her. As we wrap it up for this week, how did God help Joseph get through the pain of betrayal and imprisonment, injustice? God gave him 2 sons. Genesis 41:51. Joseph called the name of the firstborn Manasseh, for God has made me forget all my toil and all my father's house. Manasseh means God made me forget my trouble. I guess not literally forget, but God helped Joseph to deal with his past and the memory of his past. And God can help you not be crippled by your past and move into a great future. So first thing God did for Joseph is he helped him to deal with the past and to forget it, as it were. But his second son, interestingly, was Ephraim. Genesis 41 verse 52. God has made me fruitful in the land of my suffering. God can make us fruitful in the very place that we have suffered. I've seen that happen in people's lives. As God blesses you with great fruitfulness, it will cause you to leave behind, or help you leave behind, the pain of the past. Note that Manasseh came before Ephraim. Manasseh, which was leaving the past behind, forgetting what was past, came before the fruitfulness. As you learn to leave the past behind, that's the gateway into becoming more fruitful in your future. Your life is more about your future than your past. God has a great future planned for you. It's time to close the door on the past and to step in to the blessed future that God has in store for every single one of us, including you. Don't let your past rob you of the great future God has in store for you. May God richly and wonderfully bless you.